They called it a family party, but for me, it was an outdoor trial and the verdict was already decided. When my mother grabbed my ear and dragged me through the crowd while my sister burst out laughing, I didn't scream. I counted. 3 cameras rolling, 2 witnesses, 1 plan. That night, they thought I was still a child. By morning, the whole town would know who had really grown up. My name is Maya Trent, and I transform empty spaces into living stories. That's what we do at Larkspur and Flint Events, the company I co-founded 5 years ago in Blue Hollow, Michigan. While my business partner handles logistics, I breathe life into venues, turning corporate launches into immersive experiences and charity galas into unforgettable narratives. Our clients pay premium prices because we don't just plan events, we craft memories. The country music bleeding from portable speakers grates against my nerves as I navigate through my mother's backyard. Smoke from the BBQ grill mingles with cheap cologne and the sickly sweet scent of grocery store sheet cake. Joanne's 65th birthday party. I'm here because showing up is easier than explaining why I wouldn't. There's our party planner, Joanne announces to a cluster of her book club friends, wine sloshing in her plastic cup. Maya just arranges tables and chairs for rich people. Nothing like real work, but it pays her bills. I smile. The professional one I reserve for difficult clients. It's a bit more complex than that. Mom, Cliff, my stepfather, intercepts me near the drinks table. His polo shirt strains against his gut, the same gut he's cultivated through 20 years on the town planning commission. Your mother's been telling everyone about Sable's new venture. Family business? You know. Maybe you could give your sister some pointers. My sister Sable waves from across the yard, her phone raised, recording herself with my handcrafted centerpieces in the background. Sable socials, she mouths at the camera, bringing elegance to every occasion. Tyler, her husband, trails behind her carrying electrical equipment he borrowed from his freelance electrician jobs. 2 of his work buddies hover nearby, already eyeing the professional lighting rig I'd set up the one I brought as a gift, with clear boundaries about its use. These pieces are from our new signature collection. I explain to anyone within earshot, gesturing to the geometric terrariums and Edison bulb strands I'd installed earlier. I brought them for Mom's party, but they're staying under my supervision. Sable laughs, that tinkling fake sound she's perfected. Listen to her, so serious about some decorations. Maya, honey, we're family. What's yours is ours. Right, wrong. So completely wrong. These decorations represent a $40,000 investment in inventory for our upcoming contract with Morrison Hotels. Each custom piece is cataloged, insured, and specifically allocated for client use. Actually, I say, keeping my tone light, these are company assets. Legally speaking, oh, here she goes with the legal talk. Joanne interrupts, drawing laughs from the assembled relatives. This is why Maya doesn't have a husband yet. Too many rules, too much business. 2 of my key contacts choose that moment to arrive: Patricia from Great Lakes Beverage Distribution and Marcus from the Blue Hollow Gazette. I'd invited them to stop by briefly, a soft networking opportunity wrapped in a social visit. Maya, Patricia calls out. This setup is gorgeous. Very you. Before I can respond, Sable swoops in. Thank you so much. I designed the whole aesthetic. I'm actually launching my own events studio, Sable Socials. Maya's been my inspiration, but I'm bringing a more accessible, family-friendly approach to the industry. The word inspiration curdles in my stomach. Marcus pulls out his phone. Interested. Really, can I quote you on that for our business section? I watch Sable position herself in front of my installations, Tyler adjusting angles like he's her personal photographer. My mother beams with pride. Cliff nods approvingly, already mentioning his connections at City Hall. They don't see what I see. They don't notice the small GoPro I mounted on the lighting rig during setup, a habit from documenting our installations for the portfolio. They don't realize that every word, every gesture, every dismissive laugh is being captured in crisp, high definition. I should check the lighting, I murmur, excusing myself from the conversation. My fingers brush against the camera as I pretend to adjust a bulb. Still recording. Good, because I know my family. I know how this night will unfold, and when it does, I'll be ready. The tarp makes a harsh scraping sound as Sable's manicured hands, adorned with rings she claims are investment pieces, drag it across the concrete patio. She's repositioning my backdrop system, the one with the integrated LED panels that cost more than her car payment. "Tyler, baby, plug this into that outlet," she calls out, gesturing toward my power distribution box. Tyler's hands, still grimy from whatever job site he left early, fumble with the specialized connectors. One of his buddies grabs a cable, yanking it free from its carefully coiled position. "Careful with that," I say, stepping forward. "That's a DMX cable for the lighting controller. It's not just an extension cord." Tyler smirks. "Relax. I'm an electrician. I know about cables." He doesn't. He's jamming it into the wrong port, and I can already see the bent pins that'll cost $200 to repair. "Stop." My voice carries the authority I use with venue staff. "That equipment is under warranty, and unauthorized handling voids. Maya's getting technical again," Cliff announces, appearing at my shoulder with his bourbon breath. He points at the layout like he's conducting an orchestra. "Move that tower to the left. No, more left. And those hangings should frame the food table." "The hangings are weight distributed for the current configuration," I explain, pulling out my phone to show the CAD layout I'd prepared. "Moving them requires recalculating the load points, and the rental insurance specifically. Insurance." Joanne laughs from where she's holding court with her friends. "Maya, sweetie, this is your mother's birthday, not one of your corporate productions." But it is a production. Sable has her phone mounted on a tripod now. Live streaming. I catch fragments of her narration. "Creating magic for Mom's special day." Sable Socials knows how to blend luxury with love. She's standing directly in front of the Larkspur and Flint branded cases I use to transport the delicate pieces. Our logo, the one I spent 3 months perfecting with a designer, is partially visible behind her shoulder. "Sable, you need to move the branded materials out of your shot," I say, walking toward her setup. She doesn't even look at me. "It's called production value. Maya, not everything needs your permission." I watch her stick a Sable Socials decal fresh from whatever print shop she used directly onto my white seamless background. The adhesive will leave residue. The background will need professional cleaning. "That's a $400 backdrop," I state flatly. "And it looks like $1 million with my logo on it." She spins toward the camera, arms spread wide. "See how we transform spaces. This is what Sable Socials is all about." Patricia from Great Lakes Beverage approaches me quietly. "Maya, this is your work. Isn't it the aesthetic, the equipment?" Before I can answer, Sable intercepts. "Maya and I collaborate all the time. She handles the technical stuff, but the vision, that's pure Sable Socials." Marcus from the Gazette is taking notes. "So, you're partners?" "No," I say firmly. "We're not partners. This equipment belongs to Larkspur and Flint events. Sable is my sister." Sable cuts in, linking her arm through mine. "Who's been so supportive of my new venture. Haven't you, Maya?" The grip on my arm is tight. Her nails dig in slightly, not enough to bruise, just enough to warn. Cliff claps his hands together. "Family business is the best business. I was just telling Jim from the Planning Commission about Sable's studio. The city's looking for vendors for the Harvest Festival." "The Harvest Festival contract has been with Larkspur and Flint for 3 years, I say, extracting my arm from Sable's grip. "Well, maybe it's time for fresh blood," Cliff responds, his tone carrying that particular weight of someone who's spent 2 decades trading favors. "Competition's healthy, right?" Tyler and his crew have now completely rewired my LED system, bypassing the controller to run everything through a basic power strip. The lights flicker too bright, too white, killing the ambiance I'd carefully calibrated. "You're going to blow the fuse," I warn. "You worry too much," Tyler says, high-fiving one of his buddies. "This is how real workers get things done." I pull out my phone, open my insurance app, and start documenting. Photos of the bent DMX connector, the residue from Sable's decal. Tyler's jerry-rigged electrical setup, the serial numbers on each piece of equipment being handled. "What are you doing?" Joanne demands, noticing my photography. "Protecting my assets," I reply calmly. "Your assets." She shakes her head, disappointment dripping from every word. "Is that what family is to you, assets and liabilities?" I don't answer. I just keep documenting, making sure the GoPro on the lighting rig captures her face as she says it, because in 3 hours, when this party peaks, they'll show me exactly what family means to them, and I'll be ready with receipts. The live stream plays on Sable's phone screen, propped against a centerpiece I'd hand-assembled that morning. Her viewers can see my geometric terrariums, my Edison bulbs, my entire aesthetic all branded as Sable Social's signature style. The comment hearts float up the screen as she gives a tour of her design. "Take that down," I say, my voice cutting through the party chatter. Sable doesn't even glance up. "It's called marketing. Maya, maybe if you understood social media, I understand theft." I reach for her phone. She snatches it away, laughing for her audience. "My sister's camera shy. Everyone, she's the behind-the-scenes type." The crowd of relatives has started to notice the tension. They form a loose circle, drinks in hand, eyes bright with the anticipation of drama. Someone's phone comes out recording us recording each other. "Sable, you're using my intellectual property to promote a business that doesn't exist," I state clearly, making sure my words carry. "You're misleading those viewers." "Misleading?" Sable's voice rises, playing to her audience both online and in the yard. "I'm showcasing my event for my mother's birthday." "Right." "Mom." Joanne moves through the circle, her wine-flushed face set in disapproval. "Maya, why must you make everything about business? Can't you just let your sister shine for once?" "With my equipment, my designs, your... Joanne's voice cracks with frustration. "That's all we ever hear from you. Your company, your success, your rules." The circle tightens. I feel the familiar sensation of being surrounded, outnumbered, the baby of the family who got too big for her place. "She's literally claiming my work as hers," I say, fighting to keep my tone level. "That's fraud." "Fraud," Cliff pushes forward, bourbon heavy on his breath. "That's a serious accusation. Little girl, I'm 34 years old with a business worth $500,000, and he calls me little girl. It's not an accusation if it's true." I respond. "She's telling potential clients, family supports family." Joanne interrupts, stepping closer. "Something you never learned, always putting yourself above everyone else." "I brought $10,000 of equipment here for free." "Because you wanted to show off." Sable chimes in, still streaming. "Look, everyone, Maya thinks she's better than us because she has fancy lights." The laughter ripples through the crowd. Cruel, dismissive, familiar. I'm 15 again, being mocked for studying instead of partying. 22, being ridiculed for refusing to loan money I didn't have. 28, being called selfish for not giving Sable my client list. "I'm taking my equipment and leaving," I announce, moving toward the lighting rig. Joanne's hand shoots out, grabbing my shoulder. "You're not ruining my birthday with your tantrum." "It's not a tantrum. It's protecting my business from..." The words die as Joanne's other hand clamps onto my ear. Not my arm, not my wrist, my ear, like I'm a misbehaving child in a grocery store. Her fingers twist the cartilage, and she yanks. The pain is sharp, immediate, humiliating. She drags me 3 steps toward the center of the circle before I can process what's happening. The crowd gasps, then laughs. Someone whoops. "Still throwing fits like a baby," Joanne announces to her audience. 65 years old, and I still have to discipline my youngest. Sable's laughter cuts through everything else, bright and delighted. She's pivoted her phone to catch the whole scene. "She's just a child," she shrieks between giggles. "Oh my God, Mom, she's just a child." The phrase echoes off the house, the fence, inside my skull. "She's just a child. She's just a child." The crowd takes it up, laughing, repeating it. Someone starts a chant. I don't scream. I don't cry. I don't even pull away. I stand there, ear throbbing, face burning, and I count. 3 cameras I can see. 2 potential witnesses who look uncomfortable, Patricia and Marcus, standing frozen by the drink table. One plan crystallizing in my mind. Are we done here? I ask quietly when the laughter starts to die. Joanne releases my ear with a final twist. We're done when you apologize to your sister and stop making scenes. The equipment stays, Cliff adds, stepping between me and the lighting rig. Call it rental fee for the aggravation. I don't argue. I don't negotiate. I simply turn, pick up my purse and keys from the gift table, and walk through the circle. The crowd parts, still chuckling, still recording. Running away like always. Sable calls after me. Everyone, that's my baby sister. She can build a business but can't handle a family party. I pause at the gate, turn back just enough for the GoPro to catch my face. Calm, controlled, professional. Happy birthday, Mom, I say. Then I leave, not running, not storming. Walking with the measured pace of someone who knows exactly what comes next. Behind me, the party explodes back to life. They think they've won. They think they've put me back in my place, the family failure who can't take a joke, the uptight sister who ruins everything with her rules. They have no idea what they've just done on camera. The Larkspur and Flint office sits dark except for my desk lamp and the glow from 3 computer monitors. It's 11:47 p.m. The cleaning crew left an hour ago. Just me, the silence, and the evidence. I remote access the GoPro's cloud backup first. The footage is crystal clear, Joanne's hand on my ear, the twist, the drag. Sable's delighted face as she screams that phrase, the crowd laughing. I download everything, create 3 backup copies across different drives. My phone buzzes. Patricia from Great Lakes Beverage. Maya, I'm so sorry about tonight. That was completely inappropriate. Do you need anything? I screenshot her message. Witness statement potential. Marcus texts next. Got some photos from tonight? That wasn't okay. Let me know if you need them for anything. Another screenshot. Another witness. I pull up the security footage from our office's external cameras. They caught me arriving at 11:22 p.m., walking steadily. No signs of intoxication or emotional distress. Important for establishing timeline and state of mind. Harper Quinn answers on the second ring, despite the late hour. That's why she charges $400 an hour. Maya, what's the emergency? I need you to review footage of assault, theft, and commercial fraud. Tonight, my family. There's a pause. Harper knows my history with them. How bad? Physical assault on camera. They're holding $10,000 of my equipment. My sister's using the footage to promote a competing business. I'll be there in 20 minutes. While waiting, I called Deshaun Cole, the private investigator who helped us with a corporate espionage case last year. Deshaun, I need documentation on a fraudulent business operation. Social media posts, client communications, everything. Timeline. It's happening now. Live streamed earlier tonight. Screen recording everything as we speak. What's the handle? I give him Sable's information, then turn to insurance documentation. Every piece of equipment is cataloged with photos, serial numbers, purchase receipts. The liability coverage specifically includes unlawful retention of property. I email my agent, flagging it as urgent. Harper arrives with her paralegal, both in jeans and law school sweatshirts. Weekend casual, but their eyes are sharp. Show me, Harper says. I play the footage. The ear grab at minute 43, the dragging for 12 seconds, the laughter for 2 minutes and 37 seconds after. Harper's paralegal takes notes on every detail. Battery, Harper says. Clear as day. The equipment. I show her Cliff blocking my path, declaring the item's payment. Show her the insurance documentation, the business registration for Larkspur and Flint that lists me as majority owner. Conversion of property. Possibly extortion given the rental fee comment. Harper's fingers fly across her laptop. The fraud. I pull up Sable's live stream, archived before she could delete it. Her claims of designing everything. The Sable socials branding over my work. The messages Deshawn's already captured 3 potential clients asking for quotes based on tonight's showcase. False advertising, trademark infringement, possible tortious interference with your business relationships. Harper looks up. Maya, this is a gift-wrapped case. I want more than a case, I say. I want leverage. Harper smiles, the kind that makes opposing counsel nervous. Temporary restraining order by morning. They can't use, move, or damage that equipment. Expedited hearing for return of property within 72 hours. Cease and desist on all use of your intellectual property. The assault. Criminal charges if you want them, but civil suits hit harder punitive damages for intentional infliction of emotional distress, especially with the public humiliation factor. My phone buzzes. Patricia again. My company can't be associated with this kind of behavior. If Sable contacts us, we'll redirect to Larkspur and Flint exclusively. Marcus, my editor wants to know if you're giving a statement. This could be a story about boundary violations in family businesses. Maya, Harper says, reading my expression. They gave you everything. The footage, the witnesses, the clear evidence of malice. We can bury them in paper, or we can make them bury themselves. I finish. I want a settlement offer ready. Public apology. Full return of equipment. Cessation of all business operations using my work. And damages. If they refuse, I think about Joanne's fingers twisting my ear, Sable's delighted shriek, Cliff's smug face. Then we release everything, every frame of footage, every screenshot, every piece of evidence. Let Blue Hollow see who they really are. Deshawn texts, Sable's already got 17 inquiries from the live stream. She's quoting prices 50% below your rates and promising Larkspur quality design. I forward it to Harper. Add tortious interference and predatory pricing to the list. It's 1:28 a.m. when we finish the initial filing. The TRO will be on a judge's desk at 8 a.m. The cease and desist letters will hit Sable's social media platforms by 9. The formal demand for return of property goes out at 10. Get some rest, Harper says, packing up. Monday's going to be interesting. I stay in the office, staring at the frozen frame on my center monitor, Joanne's hand on my ear, Sable laughing, the crowd watching. They thought they were putting on a show. They were right. They just didn't know who was directing it. The video is 45 seconds of perfectly edited truth. No commentary needed, just raw footage with timestamp overlays. Second, year 0 to 0008, Sable claiming ownership of my designs. Second, year 009 to 0021, Joanne grabbing my ear, the twist, the drag. Second, year 022 to 0033, Sable screaming, she's just a child while filming. Second, hour 034 to 0045, Cliff blocking my exit, declaring the equipment payment. I've blurred the faces of minors and bystanders. The principles remain crystal clear. The Larkspur and Flint watermark sits discreetly in the corner, establishing ownership of the footage. My email to Patricia at Great Lakes Beverage is simple. As promised, documentation of last night's incident. I understand if you need to reconsider our professional relationship given the circumstances. I'm committed to maintaining the highest standards of professionalism regardless of personal challenges. Her response comes within minutes. Maya, this is appalling. We're expediting our contract with Larkspur and Flint. Also, my legal team wants to ensure our brand isn't associated with the unauthorized use of your designs. We'll support any action you take. Marcus at the Blue Hollow Gazette receives the same video with a different message. Exclusive documentation as discussed. I'm available for an interview about maintaining professional boundaries in family-owned businesses. I believe this story could help others facing similar challenges. His reply is equally quick. Front page of the business section. Can we run the stills? My editor wants to do a series on intellectual property theft in small businesses. Harper files the TRO at 8:05 a.m. The judge, reviewing the video evidence, signs immediately. By 9:30 a.m. The cease and desist letters hit every platform where Sable posted content. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok all receive formal notices. Deshawn's reconnaissance reveals the extent of Sable's overnight activities. She'd created a rudimentary website using screenshots from my portfolio, posted special promotional rates on local Facebook groups, and even contacted 3 of my past clients offering to recreate Maya's designs at family-friendly prices. She's speedrunning a lawsuit, Deshawn notes. Want me to document everything. I confirm. The demand letter Harper crafts is a masterpiece of legal precision. Ms. Sable Morrison must immediately cease all use of designs, concepts, and materials created by Larkspur and Flint events. The unlawfully retained equipment valued at $38,000 must be returned within 24 hours in original condition. Any damage will result in additional criminal charges for destruction of property. It continues. The physical assault captured on video constitutes battery under Michigan Penal Code 750.81. The public humiliation and intentional infliction of emotional distress warrant punitive damages. However, Ms. Trent is willing to consider alternative resolution if the following conditions are met within 48 hours. The conditions are specific public written apology acknowledging the assault and false claims, immediate cessation of all business operations using Larkspur and Flint intellectual property, return of all equipment with compensation for any damage, payment of $15,000 for emotional distress and business interference, agreement to no contact order regarding Larkspur and Flint clients. If these conditions are not met, the letter concludes, Ms. Trent will pursue all available criminal and civil remedies, including public release of all documentary evidence. I have the letter delivered by process server at noon, right when Joanne hosts her Monday book club. The calls start at 12:30 p.m. Joanne first. How dare you embarrass me in front of my friends? I don't answer. Cliff next. Little girl, you just made a big mistake. I know everyone in this town. I don't answer. Sable texts frantically, take down that video. Now my followers are asking questions. I screenshot her message. More evidence of consciousness of guilt. At 2 p.m., Marcus's article goes live online. Local business owner documents assault at family gathering raises questions about professional boundaries. He doesn't name names, but Blue Hollow is small. Everyone knows. By 3 p.m., Sable's clients from the live stream start requesting refunds for their deposits. She doesn't have deposits, she spent the money assuming she'd use my equipment. Patricia calls Maya. 3 other businesses in our network want to express support. Would you be open to a joint statement about protecting intellectual property? Draft it, I say. Deshawn forward screenshots Sable's attempting damage control, claiming the video is edited and taken out of context. Her followers aren't buying it. Someone has reposted the video asking, is this how Sable Socials treats family? At 4:45 p.m., Tyler calls Maya. This is getting out of hand. Sable's crying. Your mom's humiliated. Cliff's. They have 18 hours to accept the settlement. I interrupt. The terms are non-negotiable. You're really going to destroy your own family. I'm documenting their choices. They're destroying themselves. Harper texts at 5:15 p.m. Judge granted expedited hearing for equipment return. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. If they don't comply tonight, I forward the hearing notice to the family group chat, then remove myself from it. The GoPro footage plays on loop on my center monitor. Not for satisfaction, for reinforcement. This is what they do when they think no one's watching. This is who they are when they believe there are no consequences. Tomorrow, they learn otherwise. The garage door groans open at Joanne's house, revealing my equipment stacked haphazardly against oil-stained walls. It's 9 a.m. Tuesday. They had 1 hour before the court hearing. I stand beside Harper, Deshawn, and 2 uniformed security guards from Premier Protection Services. Their body cameras are recording. So is mine, a small device clipped to my jacket lapel. This is harassment, Cliff announces, blocking the driveway in his bathrobe and slippers. You can't just show up with an army. Harper steps forward, TRO papers in hand. Mr. Morrison, this is a lawful recovery of property under court order. You can cooperate, or we proceed to the hearing where Judge Brennan will compel cooperation. Joanne appears behind him, her face puffy from crying or drinking or both. Maya, how could you? The neighbors are watching. They are. Mrs. Chen from across the street has her phone out. The retired couple next door stands on their porch with coffee mugs, observing. The equipment, I say simply. That's all I want. It's in the garage, Tyler mutters from the doorway. But some of it's being used. Used, Sable pushes past him, live streaming again, despite the cease and desist. Everyone, look at this. My sister brought police to our mother's house over some party decorations. Those aren't police, Harper corrects for the recording. They're licensed security professionals documenting the return of stolen property valued at $38,000. Sable's phone wavers. Her viewers can see the number. The comments section explodes. Deshawn and the security team enter the garage with the inventory list. I follow, cataloging damage. DMX cable, bent pins $200. Deshawn notes, LED panel 3, crack in the housing $400. Backdrop system, adhesive residue and tearing $600. Each item is photographed, its condition documented against the original insurance photos. You're being ridiculous, Joanne says, trailing us. It's just some wear and tear. It's destruction of property, Harper responds, typing rapidly on her tablet. Current damage estimate $3,800. Sable's still streaming, trying to control the narrative. My sister values things more than people. Look at her, treating family like criminals. I turn to face her phone directly. You committed fraud by claiming my work as yours. Mom assaulted me. Cliff tried to extort me. Those are criminal acts. You can't say that I'll sue you for defamation. Harper actually laughs. Truth is an absolute defense to defamation. Would you like to see the video evidence again? The local news van pulls up. Marcus had mentioned they might be interested. The reporter, a young woman with ambitious eyes, approaches with her cameraman. Is this the Larkspur and Flint equipment recovery? No comment, I say, as Harper instructed. Our attorney will provide a statement shortly. But Joanne can't help herself. This is a family matter. My daughter is destroying us over nothing. The reporter's eyes light up. Ma'am, are you confirming this is a family dispute? Can you comment on the assault allegations? What assault? I disciplined my child. Your 34-year-old child? The reporter asks, incredulous. I hear Harper murmur, "Thank you for that sound bite." The security team loads my equipment into the rental truck. Several pieces are missing. Where's the second lighting tower? I ask. Tyler shifts uncomfortably. Sable sold it. Yesterday. Some guy on Facebook Marketplace. Harper's typing intensifies. That's conversion of property and illegal sale of stolen goods. Criminal charges are now mandatory. Wait. Sable drops her phone. I was going to pay Maya back. I needed the money for the deposits people wanted refunded. Deshawn whispers. Did she just confess on her own live stream? The reporter is getting everything. Her cameraman has positioned himself perfectly to capture Sable's meltdown, Joanne's desperate attempts to push him away, Cliff's red-faced blustering about his connections. Mr. Morrison, Harper says loudly enough for everyone to hear. Are you threatening to use your position on the Planning Commission to retaliate against a legitimate business? That's not. You're twisting my words. Mrs. Chen calls out from across the street. We all heard you. Cliff, you said you'd make sure Maya never gets another city contract. The security team finishes loading. $17,000 of equipment recovered. $21,000 of equipment damaged or missing. Harper hands Joanne the updated settlement demand. Given the additional criminal acts discovered today, the terms have changed. $40,000 in damages, immediate public apology, and Ms. Sable Morrison faces charges for theft and fraud. $40,000! Joanne shrieks. We don't have that kind of money. Then I suggest you find it, Harper says. Or we proceed with criminal prosecution and civil suits that could exceed $100,000. The news reporter approaches Harper as we prepare to leave. Can you provide a statement? Harper faces the camera with practiced ease. Larkspur and Flint Events is a respected business that has served Blue Hollow for 5 years. Today's events demonstrate that professional boundaries must be maintained, even especially with family. No one has the right to assault, steal from, or defraud another person, regardless of relationship. As we drive away, I check the rearview mirror. My family stands in the driveway, surrounded by neighbors, documented by news cameras, exposed in their own front yard. Sable's live stream is still running. The viewer count has tripled. The comments are brutal. They did this to themselves, Deshawn says quietly. No. I correct him. They did this to me first. I just made sure everyone saw it. The insurance adjuster's report arrives Thursday morning. Total verified damages $38,000. Claim approved for full replacement value. The check will process within 5 business days. Every bent pin, every crack, every tear documented, validated, compensated. Harper's paralegal delivers the civil filing at 2 p.m. Trent v. Morrison et al., case number 2025 CV 4387. Causes of action: battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, conversion of property, fraud, tortious interference with business relations, defamation per se. The commercial fraud charges are particularly interesting, Harper explains over the phone. Sable used your intellectual property to solicit 17 clients. Each instance is a separate count, at $5,000 statutory damages per violation. She's looking at $85,000 before we even touch the other charges. The Blue Hollow Gazette runs a follow-up piece Friday morning. Marcus's headline reads, "Local business owner wins restraining order against family members following assault." The article includes a perfectly legal screenshot from the video Joanne's hand on my ear. Face visible, action undeniable. My phone buzzes with a text from Patricia at Great Lakes Beverage. Our legal team reviewed everything. We're pulling all planned partnerships with any Morrison-affiliated businesses. Also, we'd like to sponsor your next showcase event. Then, Marcus sends another update. City Planning Commission holding emergency session. Cliff Morrison's seat under review for conduct unbecoming a public official. By noon, the dominoes accelerate. Tyler texts, Sable's locked herself in the bedroom. Her Instagram got banned for fraudulent business practices. She owes 11 people deposits she can't refund. I forward the message to Harper, who responds, "That's wire fraud if she used electronic payments. Federal crime." The Larkspur and Flint website traffic has quadrupled. 3 Fortune 500 companies reach out about corporate events, specifically mentioning they appreciate vendors who protect their intellectual property. Saturday brings an email from Cliff's attorney, not a family lawyer, but a criminal defense attorney. Mr. Morrison wishes to discuss resolution of all matters without admitting fault. No, Harper replies simply. Your client threatened to abuse his public position for personal retaliation. The City Ethics Board has the recording. Resolution requires full admission and resignation from the Planning Commission. The City Hall emergency meeting makes the evening news. Cliff, sweating through his only suit, stands before the commission as they play the audio. I'll make sure Maya never gets another city contract. Motion to remove Commissioner Morrison for abuse of position, the chair announces. Second, comes immediately. The vote is unanimous. Joanne's attempt at damage control arrives via certified mail, a handwritten letter on her monogrammed stationery. Maya, despite your cruel actions, I'm willing to forgive you. Drop these ridiculous charges and we can move forward as a family. Harper laughs when I show her. She still doesn't get it. She thinks she's the victim. Should I respond? Absolutely. In court. Monday morning. Sable's criminal charges are filed by the prosecutor's office. The detective assigned to the case calls me, Ms. Trent. We've found evidence of additional fraud. Your sister sold 3 more pieces of your equipment to different buyers, claiming ownership. We're adding multiple counts of theft by false pretenses. The Facebook Marketplace listings are still cached. Each one shows Sable with my equipment, listing herself as owner-operator of Sable Socials events. The stolen lighting tower sold for $2,000 cash, the backdrop system for $1,500, the specialized cables for $300. That's $800 in criminal restitution, the detective notes, separate from your civil claims. Tuesday's mail brings another surprise notice from the Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs. Sable had attempted to register Sable Socials as an LLC, listing her experience as 5 years managing operations for Larkspur and Flint events. Harper files an immediate complaint. That's resume fraud and false representation. She never worked for you, correct? Never, not one day. The state takes this seriously. Business fraud can result in permanent prohibition from forming any corporate entity in Michigan. By Wednesday, the settlement offers start arriving, not from Joanne, she's still convinced she can win, but from Cliff's attorney. Mr. Morrison offers $20,000 and a written apology in exchange for dropping all claims. No, he participated in theft and made terroristic threats using his public office. Full demanded amount or trial. From Tyler through his own lawyer. Mr. Morrison Tyler was not a primary participant and offers testimony against other defendants in exchange for immunity. Acceptable, Harper responds. His testimony regarding the planned theft and subsequent illegal sales will be valuable. The final tally by Friday insurance claim, $38,000 approved Cliff's settlement, $25,000 paid to avoid trial. Criminal restitution ordered $3,800 Great Lakes beverage sponsorship, $50,000 new corporate clients. 6 contracts worth $200,000. You've turned a family assault into a $250,000 business expansion. Deshawn observes. They turned it into this. I correct. I just refused to be their victim. But we're not done. Joanne and Sable still won't settle. They want their day in court. Harper smiles when she tells me. Perfect. Public trials are public record. Every word, every piece of evidence, every shameful detail permanently documented. The trial is set for 3 weeks out, but next week, Joanne's attempting one more family party, a reconciliation dinner she's calling it. You should go, Harper advises, with recording equipment and witnesses. I agree, because I know exactly how this story ends. The Riverside Ballroom sits neutral and gleaming. Joanne rented it for her reconciliation dinner, but really, it's her last stand. I arrive at exactly 7 p.m. with Harper, Deshawn, and a court-approved videographer. The camera is visible, obvious, legal. Family members fill round tables, whispering behind water glasses. They know why we're here. The local news already reported that Judge Brennan approved our request to record any settlement discussions. Joanne stands at the microphone, wearing the same dress from her birthday party, a choice that feels deliberately provocative. Sable sits beside her, fidgeting with her dead phone. No more live streaming after the criminal charges included harassment via electronic communication. Thank you all for coming, Joanne begins, voice shaking. We're here to heal our family. Harper leans into her recorder. 7:03 p.m. Respondent Joanne Morrison beginning statement. Maya, Joanne continues, looking directly at me. I want you to know that despite everything you've done to destroy this family, I forgive you. The room rustles. Someone gasps. She still doesn't understand. Harper stands. Mrs. Morrison, we're here for your formal apology as ordered by the court, not to receive your forgiveness. I don't apologize to ungrateful children who, then we're done. Harper signals the videographer. Please note the respondent refuses court-ordered reconciliation. Wait. Cliff lurches up from his seat, his forced retirement from the commission aging him 10 years in 3 weeks. Just read the statement, please. A typed page appears in Joanne's trembling hands. She looks at it like it's poison. Joanne Morrison, she reads mechanically, publicly apologized to Maya Trent for the physical assault committed on September 15th. I acknowledge that grabbing and pulling my adult daughter's ear constituted battery. Each word sounds like ground glass in her mouth. I further acknowledge that my actions caused public humiliation and emotional distress. I accept responsibility for enabling the theft and fraudulent use of Larkspur and Flint Events property. Sable starts crying loud. Theatrical sobs meant to derail the moment. The videographer pans to capture it. Evidence of continued harassment. Joanne continues. I agree to pay $25,000 in damages and accept a permanent restraining order prohibiting contact with Maya Trent except through legal counsel. She throws the paper down. There. Are you happy? The second respondent needs to read her statement, Harper says calmly. Sable shakes her head violently. I'm not reading anything. Maya ruined my life, my business, my reputation. You never had a business, I say, my first words of the evening. You had my work, my property, and my reputation. You stole all three. You're my sister. You were supposed to support me. I was your victim. There's a difference. Harper produces another document. Ms. Morrison, if you refuse the settlement, the criminal trial proceeds next month. The prosecutor estimates 2 to 5 years for felony fraud. The room goes silent. Even the relatives stop whispering. Sable grabs the statement, reading through tears. I, Sable Morrison, apologize for fraudulently representing Larkspur and Flint Events work as my own. I acknowledge theft of property, illegal sales of stolen goods, and intentional infliction of emotional distress through public humiliation. Her voice cracks on the next part. I agree to cease all business operations using any designs, concepts, or methods developed by Maya Trent. I will pay $15,000 in restitution and complete 100 hours of community service. Furthermore, Harper adds, both respondents acknowledge that the phrase, "she's just a child," was used to demean and humiliate an adult professional, constituting verbal abuse and defamation. I stand up, facing the room of relatives who chose sides, who laughed, who watched. I built my company from nothing. I tell them, I earned my success through talent and exhaustion, and when I tried to share that success bringing beauty to my mother's birthday for free, I was assaulted, robbed, and humiliated. I pull out 3 printed photographs, enlarged and mounted on foam board. The first, Joanne yanking my ear. The second, Sable's "She's Just a Child" live stream. The third, the judge's signature on their guilty verdicts. This is your legacy now, I say, placing them on the gift table where anyone entering the ballroom will see them. This is what family means in the Morrison household. Tyler stands up from the back. For what it's worth, Maya, they planned it. The whole thing. Taking your equipment, launching Sable's business off your reputation. I heard them discussing it 2 weeks before the party. The videographer captures every word. Harper nods Tyler's testimony, delivered voluntarily in public, is admissible. We're done here, I announce. As I walk toward the exit, Joanne calls out, You'll be alone forever. No family, no one who loves you. I turn back one final time. I'd rather be alone with my dignity than surrounded by thieves and abusers. Harper, Deshawn, and the videographer follow me out. The October air feels clean, sharp, free. That was perfect, Harper says. Their own words, their own choices, all documented. My phone buzzes. Patricia from Great Lakes. Saw the live stream from someone inside. You're the strongest person I know. The business community stands with you. Then Marcus. Got everything. This is going to be a case study in business ethics textbooks. I sit in my car, looking back at the ballroom where my family continues their performance of victimhood. Through the windows, I can see Joanne collapsed in her chair, Sable pacing frantically, Cliff pouring himself another drink. They did this to themselves. Every choice, every escalation, every refusal to simply apologize and return what they stole all their decisions. I start the engine and drive toward my office, where tomorrow I'll continue building something they could never take from me, a reputation earned through integrity, boundaries maintained through strength, and success achieved without standing on anyone else's shoulders or yanking their ear to pull them down. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I'd love to know where you're listening from. Drop a comment below and let's connect. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts. Your support means everything, and I can't wait to hear your perspectives on standing up for yourself, even when it means standing against family.